room will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the show will be great.
Absolutely. So last weekend, I had an opportunity. I was asked by a person on LinkedIn. Asked me, they said, Austin, I just have a quick question for you. What is one problem that you see from your perspective and other people that you know? And so I want to just answer my question in the way that I answered and see if we can make some observations on the answer that I made and how you guys maybe think about what I said or disagree with your view on it. So this is what I responded. I said, if I had to assess the main issue I see with my perspective and other people my age is direction. I think choices were simpler back in the day and a lot more concrete, not to say easier. College was surefire. Jobs and inflation were closer tied, and people didn't seem to need as much luck as they do nowadays. There's always been competition, but with the internet, the lake that was life seems to have connected to a bigger ocean almost. And in the wake of that change, I see many younger people overwhelmed with choices, almost too frozen with fear of misstep, that they never even get into the water. Even when walking through trials, it's just always more assuring when you can see the side of a lake versus the vastness of an ocean. To summarize, an increase in choices, but a decrease in stability. You find yourself with a generation who has the world at their fingertips, but is too fearful to grab it. Now, on the drive down here today, that was the answer I had. And I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. But on the drive down here today with my mom, we were talking, and I realized something. I said, this isn't just an age thing. This is a people thing. There's a lot of people at multiple ages who are really lost nowadays, right? And so giving you guys a chance, not only touch on what I said, but this is just what I want to get to is this. I had a friend of mine who said these words. He said, when purpose supersedes fear, only then can we move forward. And I found that very eye-opening. I said, okay, if we have all these young people, and not just young people, but people around who are locked in fear and confusion from the next misstep, I think, and this is the question I want to pose to you guys, is how do you find passion? How do you find your passion? How did you know that speaking was what Jim wanted to do? How did you know that speaking and changing Buffalo is what Murray wanted to do? And what advice would you have to those people who are listening, who are maybe frozen, looking at the ocean, but just know they want to get in? And how should they start?
Wow. This brother woke us up this morning, didn't he? Mr. Anderson.
I'm ready for look.
Yeah, I was waiting on you, Mr. Anderson.
When I hear stuff like that, you know what I really want to say to particularly young people, don't delude yourself into thinking that you're all that weak. And don't act like you need that greater direction. Yes, you do need direction, but let's be truthful. Think about the simple direction you get on the home front anyway, and then you go out and do something. Talking about, we got all these cliches about self-care. We done moved into the verbiage of self-care so deeply that we automatically define ourselves as sick and weak. Stop it. Don't do that. In spite of what be going on with you, show me where you're making a strive to do the best you can. Show me where you're making a stride to learn. If you can't do something, show me where you're taking the baby steps to get to know how to do. And as far as direction, what do your eyes see you? You see the difference between somebody who's laying around on the corner and somebody who is dutifully working. So I challenge them to see that in themselves and then present themselves as a body, an instrument that's ready to really get into service of building their own lives so that they can help in sustaining and building a community. It's not an easy walk. It ain't an easy walk whether you're young or old. But let's not get hyped on whether it's about age or whether you got one leg or two legs. It's about, are you prepared to try and do something that is considered in the line of better and goodness for yourself and your community. They just need stronger encouragement on the healthier side about their strength. Too often we talk to our young people like they're a bunch of thugs, like none of them are studying. We don't boost them up to the levels of where they really are. We come from a lineage that say, you got to be 10 times smarter than other people. And we strive to that. And it's not belaboring, it's enhancing. It makes you to fit into what people call multitasking. So young folks, don't delude yourself and don't let nobody, young or old, tell you that you so weak. You know you're stronger than that. You need opportunity and access, and that's available. And one way to get it is ask for help.
Wow. So, brother, I mean, you did a lot of studying before you came with that, you know,
A little bit.
I mean, that notion of what's going on. But as we deal with our youth in our community today, first of all, they always hear somebody telling them that you're not worthy of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, your goals is not set the way they need to be set. First of all, we have to give them some goals and role models and things like that to get them moving forward. But I believe that, and how old are you now?
I'm 19 years old.
19 years old. At 18, were you thinking like that as a 19-year-old, or how long did it take for you to get there?
I'm not there yet. I'm still, so 19 years, I'm still working on that journey.
Are you still working on that journey? So as we listen to the show and get more in depth into the show, we'll probably relate back to what you're talking about. Mr. Anderson has been there for a while, and I'm telling you, it was great to have some models in place for me growing up, that I got some information like you getting right now. Take advantage of when the elders are talking to you in our community, so that way when you get a little bit older up in age, I'll be 60 by Friday. I'll be 60 years old. So
early birthday.
I mean, Mr. Anderson got to be pushing about 95, right, or something around there.
You know, they say those who know,
yes,
don't say, and those who say don't know.
Don't know.
So stay tuned, y'all. It's just a beautiful. I'm hitting 75.
See,
I'm a baby.
And so my dad was growing up Black Panthers as well and all that that era. And Mr. Anderson was actually in that role model as well. But some of them struggles they were having during that time period is reflecting on what you're talking about right now anyway. Sort of kind of Mr. Anderson, right? Go to college, boom, 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 boom. But now we don't have so much of those tools in our toolbox still left. So we need to bring up a new toolbox.
And this is the question I kind of want to ask to you, Mr. It's been a while in the studio. Mr. Anderson, I want to ask you this, right? Because you said it's not deluding ourselves to think that we are weak. I don't think it's that we think that we're weak, but this is the question I want to ask you. How do you get people to understand that sometimes taking the first step isn't about the step, but it's the fact that you're stepping? Right? How do you get people to understand that, you know, okay, let's say I want to make a musician. It's not about whether you make a song, but can you just do something? How do you get people to trust that will pay off, even if it's not the best possible step? Because I found myself when I started my speaking journey, what held me up wasn't that I felt like I was weak, that I didn't know where I wanted to get to. It was that I didn't know what first step would be the most bang for my buck, and I didn't want to make a first step and waste time. So how do you get people to understand that mindset?
Well, that's it. That's exactly what when I talk about thinking about weakness. You know, taking the first step is one that it involves your thinking. What's a wise step? What's a healthy step? What's a doable step? And that's something people need to think about. Sometimes rather than looking at what am I able to do that's going in the direction I want to go, if they never venture to see what they can do, that's even before you get any help. What can they do? Because the first part is, how do you expose yourself to others? How do you turn your light on so they can see it? How do you get your sound bite out there that people know, oh, I thought that was a statue or something? You know, in other words, how do people know? They don't know what you're thinking, only you. Now, this is where the kinds of things you feed into your own mind. And when I say being weak, if you keep thinking I can't do, then you won't do. But if you keep thinking towards like, I can do something, and charge yourself to look at what is one thing you think you could do, not dependent on others, that is within your zone that you're able to do. I'd say that makes a difference. And when you're not sure, now you see the problem that creates. You're not sure what you want to do, but somehow you want somebody else to figure it out for you. No, that won't happen. But one of the ways of conquering that is start thinking about, what do you want to do? Even write down a note where you want to be. You know, think about that. You know, you don't have to think way off in the future. Just simply, what would you like to be? What are 3 jobs you would like to do in the future? And then work backwards. What do I need to do in order to prepare for it? That's one way. But I won't put the burden all on just young people. I say the burden is on our community. Because in every community, we have the equivalent of a college professor.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
you have a system of education. In communities, you got people who work in all kinds of different jobs, meaning they got all kinds of different skills and knowing how to do dots and dots. In communities, you know, on any block, everybody knows who are the kids on the block. They may not know them personally, but you eventually figure out where the houses the kids are, what houses is it seemingly irresponsible behavior. We know all that about our blocks. The question that everybody on the block need to answer is, what can I do to help my block better? See, everybody can go down a block and on a block and live and say, oh yeah, you know, they ordered this and they ordered that. Well, why can't you be the order? See, if we see things that are missing and see, and do we have the skills or some way to connect the things that connect to that, it will make a difference. And I think for our young people, it would make a difference. A lot of the different jobs that exist for them already on the block, but people on the block not sharing it. They ain't sharing what they're doing. Or they'll brag somewhere about they getting paid good for the work they do. But what kind of work are they doing? And how are they helping to sustain that with the coming up young folks who are going to need to find ways to express their talents if we don't expose them? You hear people talk about reading. What blocks got reading clubs for the young people on them to help them get over the hump? I mean, simple things that could be done. It's an intergenerational growth path. It takes young and old helping each other and speaking to each other. I would say any older person on a block that is able to offer some kind of service in the community, a Saturday morning 2-hour training program on basic math or 6th grade math or basic reading, learning to read, you know, and so forth. I mean, things that could help young people and begin to draw them away from wandering off the block into spaces where probably their parents don't know,
Right.
but to make the block even become more vibrant, you know, everybody start getting a little friendly, everybody starting to get help. And where you get help at, you take care of. Right. And so imagine that behavior growing into, you know, these blocks where you see a lot of garbage on the ground and you start behaving in a way you don't throw no garbage on the ground, you won't let nobody else throw nothing on there. You'll be able to say, hey, pick that up. You can't leave that there. I mean, simple thing, but more adults have got to be doing it so kids can see and get a sense, oh, I see this kind of behavior versus somebody hitting somebody in the head or somebody standing on the corner trying to be slick or trying to run around hyping a lot of other stuff that I don't want to mention on air. We got a strong community. We just got to believe it. And some of these adults who are doing well off need to do more. That's the problem.
It's called taking ownership. What we see right now, young man, in our community is, for instance, what Mr. Anderson was saying about reading. Now our kids go down to the library to fight. Now that's different, right? Before you was going there to read, and now you're going there to fight. Right. So now you have to go and figure out why they're going downtown to fight, and what is the tools they're using, your cell phones, your Twitter, your Facebook, to show these fights and things like that there. But when you said something about economics or value, I can give you a shot right there that's inside that booth there. The brother went from scratching records to now, look where he's at right now. You see what I'm saying? That's the game part about it. So if you go in and you're going to have some hurdles. You have to have hurdles. It's not just going to come so quick to you. You got to pay your dues and whatever in the business. If you writing or whatever, it's the process that you got to go through. And I tell all my youth and my kids that constantly when I'm in my programs, that it's not going to be an easy journey. You're going to have to listen to some folks. You got to get, now we just done moved up minimum wage to $15 an hour, right? Now people still don't even want to work for that. So how do we get them in tune to do some things? But whatever your vision is and your mission in your mind, if you stick with it, I guarantee it will pay off. No matter how little or how big you think it is.
We got a call, so we'll go right to the phone. Caller, you're on the air.
Turn it up.
Caller, could you?
The announcement.
Hey, caller, start it again. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay, can you hear me better now, Brother Jim?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's Mustang, yeah.
I am so honored and thank you for giving us a few minutes on your show. I'm excited to announce the MLK Day of Service. This is our 4th year, and it's happening next Monday. We're having everyone meet at 8 o'clock in the morning at the Durham Memorial AME Zion Church. That's 200 East Eagle Street in Buffalo. And we have over 270 people signed up to participate in this MLK Day of Service. And we have over 30 projects for people to do that are environmentally friendly projects, and all throughout the east side of Buffalo. Our theme this year is keeping it clean and green. And so we're doing things like using eco-friendly products, which were donated to us by Walmart, to give to our project sites that want to do cleaning on the inside, and then painting and all kinds of wonderful environmentally focused projects that people are doing. And as you may or may not know, this project is a partnership with the Michigan Street African American Heritage Corridor, the Buffalo NAACP. We have a new sponsor that joined us this year, the Air and Waste Management Association. And then this project is a part of the National MLK Day of Service project, which is coordinated by AmeriCorps. So we are excited. The community, there's a lot of momentum. People are excited about it. People are talking about it. I've gotten probably about 10 calls this morning and 50 emails of people asking questions and wondering how they can help.
Cool.
So we're going to make a great impact.
Yeah, and give if there's a contact location, email, the phone number people should get in touch with. Can you give that?
Yes. Yeah, sure. So probably the easiest way, since we're on the radio, is for people to go to the Michigan Street African American Heritage Corridor's website. And if they go there, then they just click on MLK Day of Service. Also, I can give it to you, but it's the sign up is bit.ly/MLK Service 2024. And basically they go to the sign up link. The different project sites are listed, and then they can sign up for the site that they want. And basically what we're having is everybody join us at the Durham Memorial AME Zion Church, that's downtown on 200 East Eagle Street at 8 a.m. No, not 9, 8 a.m. And believe it or not, we're going to start on time. And we're going to have like a little chance for people to have a little breakfast and to check in to make sure everybody's clear. We're going to actually present an award, the Bishop Henderson Environmental Day Award, and just thank everybody for coming. Take a group picture, and then people are going to go to their sites. And Brother Jim, we are so excited because this is a great opportunity to really uplift our community. You know, Reverend Blue from the NAACP, he always says, many hands make light work. So we are hoping to have hundreds and hundreds of hands to come out to go to these different sites on the east side of Buffalo to do environmentally influenced projects to support the community. And it's just an honor because, you know, a lot of times MLK Day can be very cold. One year, this is our 4th year. The second year we had a storm. And believe it or not, people still came out and volunteered. And so because of the storm, it sort of caused us to shift a little bit so that we don't do as many outdoor projects, we do more indoor projects.
Awesome.
and it is just growing, and we're excited. So,
Well,
thank you.
you're welcome, and I hope next Monday is as nice as this Monday appears to be turning into. And community, you heard it, next Monday. And all you got to do is show up and do what we should be doing on a day like that.
And Bessie Pastor has something going on as well at Kleinhands.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Klein Hands is that Sunday,
Yes.
and then project is that Monday. And if you can talk to the universe and make sure that the next Monday is just like this, that would be incredible.
All right. Remember you heard it here first, gifted to you. All right, then. Now I got to get me a stack of handkerchiefs and some water. $5, little bottle of water, and some handkerchief. Hey, y'all.
Oh, what you need the handkerchief for?
Back in the day, you say certain numbers, they think you're giving out numbers. We don't do that.
All right.
That was y'all. You didn't know that?
See, me and Mr. Dawson, you gotta catch us up on that.
Okay, I'll screw y'all later. But still here, thanks so much. And
yes, thank you.
And
Jim, you are just amazing, and I love your show and the work that you're doing. And then you got that amazing young man as your
hey, I tell you,
I love it. So I hope to see you guys stop by, come have some breakfast with us, say hello.
Oh, yeah, breakfast
and
too.
then thank you, community, in advance, because this is going to be our biggest year yet. We started with 20 people. The next year we had 60. Last year we had 150 with 9 sites, and this year we have over 270 people signed up already.
nice.
In 30 sites. So we
All
are
right, then.
excited about what's happening. Thank you, sir.
All right, then. Stay strong, stay healthy. Eggs over easy.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
he just put his order in.
Yeah.
He got put his order in.
The brothers is catering, so
Oh. Eggs over easy with fried chicken and some waffles.
I knew you was going there.
But we still in the studio. All right, people. That's right. No. If you eat, you got to work.
Yes.
Or might be you work and then you eat. We'll give you a sample on the front end.
Not that huge a breakfast, but you can certainly go to Brothers and have breakfast.
Oh.
Support that business. But we're going to have a little something for you before you head out there into the cold. So
Nice.
Thank you again for your time.
Okay, and thank you for sharing. All right, then. Okay, see, so community next week is going down. Going to be a lot of activities. You need to be in one. And young people, you need to find something to check out. And you know what? You should bring things that you don't see already in the community that you would like to see.
More people.
You need to talk about that.
Yes.
And look, let's get serious. Things are changing.
Yes.
Some of what seemed to have been good back in what people sometimes talk about the good old days. The good old days is the present day, the moment in which you're living. So if it ain't good for you, that means we got to be doing something to make it better. And as I said, I'm with you. I know there are plenty of others with you. And the moment that you want to get into what some might call nation building, caring for one another for real, I'm with you. And no hate, no, it's all good. But listen, Austin, and you rocking us. You got some more to push on us. Push us.
That was the main point that I had to brought with me, because I feel like when we talk about problems like you talked about, the thing that I've been noticing, I've been working over on Branch Junior at the Push Center, and just to talk about some work over there, doing great work, trying to create a better community. Are we going to a break?
No.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I'm trying to say, getting back into the swing of things, y'all.
I know
that's getting back to the studio.
He said I gave y'all too long anyway.
It's connecting those dots, and I think that the better as a community we connect dots, right, and take these big issues like we always talk about on the show and actually put solutions to them. The thing that I took away from what you said when I talked to my young friends who are lost, I'm gonna say, look, man, jump in. If you can't jump in, tap a toe in. Can't put a toe in, put a finger in, but you gotta touch the water. And I think that mindset, as people in the community, we recognize when we see someone swimming, it's easier to support them. It's easier to want to push them further when they're already pushing themselves. So that's really all I had today, but I think it's open phone lines. We got a call, so let's see where the call takes us.
They calling.
Caller, you on the air?
Yes.
Hey, Dr. Doyle, welcome.
Mr. Anderson, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year's to you too.
Happy New Year's.
Yes, I wanted to know, did you receive my card?
Yes, I did, and I'm writing you something.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I wanted to thank you because you always allow me to announce my essay contest.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new one coming for Black History Month.
Whoa.
I will have it, I will announce it in about 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
It's for our young people. I do these contests to encourage our young people to write, to think, and to do research. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. So I wanted to thank you. I was looking for your program at 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh, no, we're doing 11s to 12 this year.
Okay, yes, I did find it, so I'm glad I did. So I just wanted to greet all of you, and you all have a blessed day.
Mother Doyle, how long you been doing the essay?
The essay contest?
Yes, ma'am.
I have, is this Mr. Holman?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Yes, I have done more than 150 essay contests.
Wow, and you have, yes, go ahead, ma'am.
And I sponsor all of them, and I always give the young people a prize money to encourage them. You know what, Mr. Holman, I just finished writing my 13th book.
Wow.
So what I tell the young people is they can also write a book. So I encourage them to do that. So yes, I've been doing these essay contests for the last 10 years.
So, ma'am, my question is, because we have a young man in the studio with us, he's one of the hosts of the Jim Anderson Show. What advice were you giving to your grandchildren? That now one is an EMT and one is a police officer. I know the family. What advice did you give them? Because I noticed that you always had them come into the library when they were younger. What advice can you get this young man that asked the question to us about, how to?
Yes, my granddaughter, who is Buffalo police officer, she used to come with me all the time. I had always encouraged her to learn to read, and especially to learn her history. I taught all of my children and my grandchildren, because you have to have a foundation.
Yes.
You have to know who you are. You have to know who your ancestors were. And I think that helped very, very much. She told me something, Mr. Holman, when she took the police exam.
And she's little, too.
She said that a lot of people failed it.
Yes.
And one of the reasons they failed it, they could not, the reading part was difficult and the comprehension part was difficult. She shared that with me.
Wow.
So I encouraged them to read. That's why I took her to the library.
And the good part about it is, she had that going for her. Her size plays a part in our community as well. Sometimes when young men and young ladies see a shorter person, they think they're not strong. And your granddaughter is very strong for her size and all that. Then I'm like, when she get out the car, she got to jump out the car sometime. I see her sometime. But God is good. And assalamu alaikum to you.
You know what I told her, Mr. Holman, she comes by here a lot of times to visit me in the police car. When she gets out of the car, I told her, I said, she's a small woman. Mm-hmm. I said, that gun looks bigger than you.
But her mind is bigger than the gun. And that's what the important part is.
All about that.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's good for a young person with a positive attitude to be in the community to serve as a role model. So I'll hang up and listen to the rest of your show, and you all have a good day.
Thank you, and you too.
Good day.
I just want to let you know, my son is a police officer as well with the Buffalo Police Department, and all my kids are doing great. I'm telling my age a little bit. One works for the city in plumbing. My daughter works with Geico. So why is it, Mr. Anderson, that when we say our kids are not doing great, and we have all our kids doing great, why is people pushing that out?
I think that's a loose I mean, you hear things and they get handed down without people even looking in to verify it. And then there's also something I often accuse people of practicing, what I call excusiology. They always got an excuse for why they can't show why they took a step forward. Somebody was blocking the way. Well, in what way? Well, I heard it never happened to them themselves. They always got a story they done made up.
So what's that word? Is that a real word?
Excusiology?
Yes.
It is not.
Like Cat Williams a little bit.
Yeah, I coined that some years ago. Actually, in Albany, a lot of time organizations take trips up to try and push and carry on. I've been there. And so we had the commitments of a few certain politicians that, and we're setting up this big day, and this was going to be the big day that we're going up, and it was going to happen. On Tuesday, and people had loaded up all kind of buses and got up there. And before we even got parked good, the excuse started coming through. Wow. The ones who had claimed to be the standard bearers for you in the political rank started saying, my office and we ain't going to be able to do it. Right. This is after all the organizing that went on. We up there about to get off these buses, go. And I'm like, so when I had a chance to speak. And you do speak. I mentioned that, I'm sick and tired of this practicing of excusiology. Every time we come up to move an issue for the people, they got some excuse why they couldn't get it done, but no evidence that showed them even moving. And so that's where that word comes from.
Maybe what you were asking earlier, the question that you were, well, really, I answered my question earlier was accountability, right? How do you find direction? You have to be accountable and say, what can I control and what can I control? One thing I do here, which I'll give credence to, a lot of younger people, is they'll say is, I can't do this because of this reason, right? I can't record music because I don't have a studio. What are you talking about, right? Or it's like, I can't become a business person. I have no money to start a business with. What are you talking about? So I think one thing that Dr. Doyle said that I'm looking from, maybe not only learning our history. Okay, well, let's go back 20 years. Let's say I want to be a speaker. Well, what did speakers do 20 years ago to become speakers? They started here. How can I do that? Right. But it starts with an accountability to say, what can I control? I think, like you said, we have a lot of young people who are disillusioned. They think that the world happens to them. Right. And that's a mindset that is difficult. Accountability is difficult because it's not fun. And I believe how you do something is how you do everything. The same way you have to be accountable to say my room is dirty because I didn't clean it. The same way you have to be accountable to say my life didn't pan out how I wanted to because I wasn't taking the steps I need to. But it's hard because at a young age, I don't see myself in a bed at a nursing home. I don't see myself in that cascade. I don't believe it. I can't imagine it. I feel like I have all the time in the world, and I know I don't, but I feel like I do. And so it gives me so much time to relax. I hate my circumstance, but if I just smoke a little weed, go to DoorDash, and talk to my friends, I'm fine. And I feel like I have time because I'm not accountable to say that the reason your day didn't feel good is because you didn't let it feel good. And I think for myself, when I look at successful people like yourself, like Mr. Shot in the booth, when I look at successful people, I think at some point in your life, there has to come a point where it says, I'm going to change my circumstances. And so maybe the question I should have asked you is, how do we create a more accountable generation? Because like you guys said, the reality is with my generation, look, there's a lot of things we can't control. I can't control how we were raised. I can't control our circumstances. But what I can control is how I react and move towards it. But that's a mindset that I've adapted at 19 that I know a lot of kids my age don't have. So how do we build accountability?
That's where you get the adult. That is where this is where you see the irresponsible behavior of the adult level. Because look, most adults are talking about how great they were, how they were nice and growing up and how they had values and stuff. Okay, if you had it, what'd you do with it? Did you pass it down the line? And see, if they haven't taught, ain't no need of looking at the generation that come behind them and talk about, well, look at them, they so terrible. Yeah, they're terrible because you didn't teach them. And that's the problem. We got too many adults who got siphoned off to looking in other directions, some trying to compete with young folks, and instead of doing what they're supposed to do to help raise up our community. And then you have young people who are in the community, as we know. You've heard the expression "babies raising baby." Well, you can be older than a baby, but not even have the skills you should have at that chronological age. And so you less than a baby because you can't even do the good work that's needed to be done. Well, we ain't gonna beat you down. because you done brought some folks in. That means the stronger parts of the community, I got to bear it up. And that means folks got to stop saying, well, that ain't my kids. I raised my kid. Well, every kid is ours. And on a block, you ain't got to do it by yourself. A block has got to learn how to marshal together to sustain families. And this also falls right into our political arena and the kinds of services that we need. When we see a large volume of certain kinds of behavior occurring in our community, we have to have the intersecting agencies that can help rid us of the weak part or the terrible part of, or I should say, rather than say rid, help us change it. So that means, like, when we look in education, yeah, we all need to make sure there's enough money for education, whether your child is going to the old traditional public school or what is seemingly new to some, but is not new, the charter schools. You know, people are going to argue about which one is better. Look, our kids learn in all kind of venues. They learn in homeschool. So we're going to have to make sure we have the kind of support budgetary that's help. We ain't saying you're going to pay the whole of somebody, but you got to have some kind of helping to ensure that oncoming generation is nourished. And then after that, because there is a level to which where young people have to realize you get to a certain level, you're not a baby no more. And you hear it often when it comes to situations that wind up in family court as opposed to criminal court. And there's this thought out there to make some people think, oh, they won't do nothing to you. Look,
they know it too.
Yeah,
well,
they know. I know it. And so we're balancing out a whole system that has gotten off track in a lot of different ways. And we can do it. It doesn't take away from giving justice to those who need a just
spare the rod.
That's right.
Okay.
But it also doesn't give us let slide with somebody do something that really needs to be put in check, and you be talking about, oh my bad. No, or not oh my bad. Too bad. You do something. There's some things that are too bad to let you get away with oh my bad.
And anyway, and I'm gonna ask a question. I know we're gonna go to a commercial break relatively soon. I want to ask a question about complacency after, but in the before that, oh man, I just got distracted. That's all going on. I had a chance. I was just holding on to it.
While you thinking, let me tell you something about the education, because someone sent in and said, sixth grade math level makes you eligible to join the Carpenters Union.
Now. Yes.
Look, I mean, listen. This is what people don't understand. Yes. And you can hear it in some jokes. I was thinking about a joke. I think
Jomo was talking about that.
I wouldn't be surprised. And Richard Pryor, Richard Pryor some years ago did a joke. So he does this joke. He's going up to the house of his Asian friend. And he knocks on the door, and when the parent answers, and he asks, can whatever the guy can name is, and the parent said, oh no, he's in the backyard building a rocket ship. Right. And my point there is that the kid is in the backyard doing some stuff that is nurturing in ways that some people want to understand. Now he didn't understand, but I want us to take that seriously. How many of our kids, instead of being out running around the street, are in the basement or in the little bitty yard or on our porch trying to work with some of these little instruments? We see them already. Little kids now playing with these little movable toys and stuff and able to tear them apart and put them together. Man, that's science there. That's technology there. And they're doing it at the age without comprehending what they got. What if we nurture to put some water and help it to grow? I'm just saying the things we want.
The growing minds are difficult, right? And my mom and my dad showed me this. There's a double-sided sword to everything, right? And so I think for a lot of parents too, it's a mental shift. Okay, I'm gonna go from the kid perspective. Me asking my parents questions doesn't always mean I'm being rebellious. I'm just being curious.
Right. And
if you treat it like rebellion, I'm gonna think that curiosity is bad. If you treat me trying to discover and find things, sometimes I'm not trying to be sneaky, I'm just trying to be innovative.
Right.
And so if you treat my innovation as deceit, I'm going to try to avoid innovation. I'm going to stick to what I know. Right. And so when you have these thinkers, let me ask you this question now. What do you do with minds that we want to nurture but don't know how?
So we'll bring them on these type of shows where we are on right now. Because if you look back, we have a show right now called The Lifesavers. It's here on Power 96.5. They come on every Sunday, right? These are kids and youth from the age of 8 years old up to 24. They come on here and they interview young folks and they see what's going on with them. Right now, we have a young lady that's getting elevated. She skipped a grade. Now she's in the 12th grade. She's going to be graduating at age 17, which is really hard in our Black community to see young folks elevate themselves on that level. But when you start having them come into places like here, the HEAT program with Pastor Giles, young folks is coming there and they're sitting down. They're not sitting in circles anymore. Sometimes circles it puts you in the mentality of jail. Now they're sitting down and they're talking, they're thinking these things through. So when we have issues downtown, they're the ones that's giving us the advice and we're listening. We have to start listening to the youth and stop thinking they're disrespectful. We got more kids going to church than ever before. People just don't do the count like they used to. But at our church right now, more people are coming there willingly, because they know about the word and they've been hearing it so much, but they just couldn't figure out how to come in the door. COVID has set us back in a lot of things that we do in our community, but right now we're not wearing masks. But they keep saying stuff is going up. So some of that stuff that you're talking about, you got to be ready because you're an OG right now. I was just saying it right now. A young man see you on the street, he thinking you 25 years old. You know, you're already set. So how do you reach them? So what we need is more young men like yourself and young ladies like yourself taking ownership. You have the tool to see every fight that happens in our city. It goes right to you before you even get to me. You know, I got to search and you see it. Well, what if you young folks just went down there and just say, look, no, half of them is your cousin, you know, your little, you know, OG, whatever. And you can go talk to them and say, let me show you this avenue here. Let me show you this radio station that's right down the street from you. And when they get here and they go like, wow. And I say, look, let me tell you about an owner that said, yeah, I'll do anything for you. Come up in here. The door is open. Now you got another station out there. All they do is just hear the hard rap, and get in. We did a campaign called Man Know Thyself campaign, Stop the Violence Coalition. And that campaign, we gave away $10,000 in resources and made it work in our community. So when these things are happening in our community and you ask the question, who's doing the work? It's like this, brother. I'm getting a little bit too old right now. I need a break. So how do we come with your new direction, but still getting answers done what our community needs? So look at that and push it on your tools and your network and see how many of that got out their car to stop a fight. Young folks.
Right, because like you said, it does come accountability on both the adult and on the younger side. I know we've been talking a lot on getting started, but like I said, I thought we were going to have a little earlier break, so I'm going to pose the question now. All right, the snowball starts moving. Right now, the stuff starts happening.
Talking about
how do you guys get? How do you appreciate life without being satisfied?
Here we go.
How do you appreciate life without being satisfied?
Mm-hmm.
Well, satisfied meaning feeling complete. You know, I don't have to feel complete to appreciate life. I know life is a process. I know there are peaks and valleys. And I know that, you know, sometimes getting around certain parts, you know, just like going around a mountain, sometimes you think, oh, I just go around it. Sometimes it's a little further and more challenging than maybe going over it. And, you know, but, you know, you have to make a decision. I find that for me, the decision I make in life, I think I'm pretty balanced. I feel very comfortable with, but I don't automatically feel like, I got it like that. I just bring the best of what I have. And then I leave myself open because the support from me is those around me. I draw energy from people around me, and I feel when they're nudging me too. You know, they don't always have to be nudging me in a position of agreement. I can learn from if they're not nudging me in agreement and they going in another direction, and well, I'm learning something. Now I'm looking and I'm seeing that, it's like a computer program now. I gotta delete what I got and upload the new information, which has taught me something. So to me, the process of learning is learning that you don't know it all. And some days when you think you know something, you don't know enough. Mm-hmm. But I love life. Man. I love it.
And I want to give you a chance to respond as well before I add it, because additional way I want to then add that question on the professional side. We're talking about life, but the question I want to follow to again, I know I'm gonna let you answer both actually, is that okay, now we know how to appreciate life. How do I get driven by goals without becoming obsessed with success? I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get to as well. We want kids who are successful. We don't want greedy people. We want people who are focused on making change. We want people who can't be. We want people who can't appreciate what is, right. We want people who aren't appreciative. So balancing that is important as well. And I want to give you, like I said, Mr. Murray, a chance to touch on both. How do you appreciate and not get satisfied with life, but also do that in your professional life?
Well, you only get satisfied when you do a completion of some task that's in front of you. The questions you asking, brother, is so hitting on point. I'm only satisfied with what God gives me, first of all, and that's how I roll it out. Some tasks might be there, Mr. Anderson, as well. Like you said, a completion of some tasks is graded in our community on myself and what we do out here. But satisfying myself is similar like using the word selfish in the word, and I don't want to use that word in that mix. But it's a hard task to do. Sometimes you have to look at things and saying, am I satisfied because I completed the test? Or am I satisfied that I failed the test? See what I'm saying? How to make you feel it's personal.
It's based on your goals.
It's personal. See, I'll give you what Jim Brown gave me when he came here with the American program. He said, I don't want to be your role model. I want to be your goal model. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more invested in that here. But what you're going to see yourself doing now down the line is how do you satisfy whatever you're going to put forward? And that's what it is. Whether it's good or bad, you can be satisfied in both directions.
Absolutely. I think we are wrapping up right now. We're doing a little different structure where we're going to be going to commercial break. I wanted to ask, my last question was based around how do you connect purpose and profit, but we're going to get to that.
Where you getting all this from, man? You're pulling some
I just want to know. I'm being selfish. I want to ask these questions. I want to know. I got 3 extras in front of me. You think I'm not going to come on now? You know we got to pay for these type of sessions. But that being said, I know we are going to commercial soon, so I know we're supposed to kind of be wrapping up soon with our closing remarks. Commercial. Oh, commercial? Oh, what? Wait. What is going on right now?
He said commercial.
We got commercial.
Yeah.
We do one earlier.
Different time.
Okay.
So I thought it was wrapping up the show.
Yeah.
But it's really just the commercial.
And then we're going to go back for like 7 more minutes?
Yes.
Oh. All right. Well, I still want to give you a chance to answer more on that. Because I think that when I think about
Let's go with the shake up.
young people.
This stuff here. Yeah.
Oh, is there more?
Yeah, it's more.
Oh,
more.
Go ahead. We don't got it.
No, go where you going first. We gonna lead into it because it all ties in. All this stuff ties in.
Well, it's only 7 minutes. So.
Yeah, I was
All ties.
my plan is to start. Recap what we were talking about. I'm gonna send it over to you, and then you can take it where we finish it at.
Don't drive high. It's okay to be blunt with your friends.
The hour going by pretty fast now.
Driver, use a ride-sharing app.
Y'all giving good information. Y'all in the pulpit.
You
Go fast when you
came hard. You gave us some. Look, hey, you did have them all.
I ain't been here 2 times.
/cannabis. A message from the New York State's Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Back on.
All right, welcome. We are right back. Look, we've been talking a lot about young people and people in general. How do you find direction in your life and kind of pick a choice? Then how do you walk that journey out the right way, right? Not just trying to rush to get there, and make sure when you get there, we get to the top of your mountain, you look back, you really climb the right one. You weren't on maybe off course. But in these last couple minutes, I'm changing the driver's seat. I'm hopping over to the passenger seat. I got a lot of I got a lot of drivers in the booth with me. So we thought we had a caller, but the caller knew we have something great coming up. Mr. Holmes, I know you got a direction you want to take us in. The mic is yours.
Well, on the Jim Anderson show, we want to thank everybody for listening to the Jim Anderson show. And I only bring the part of the shakeup, what's happening in our community right now and what's going on from Congress all the way down to legislation, down to the Common Council. Even down what's happening in our community, whether it be the block or wherever it might be. So right now we know we want to get some of them folks here right now to come on the Jim Anderson show and talk about what they're trying to do in our community and how that's going to work. We know that April Baskin is running for state senate. Let's turn that down a little bit or something. And we want to see will she come in here to the Jim Anderson show? She probably can reach out to Jim. It's live, and Mookie is in the set. So I had to take him out the shakeup. He just got back from the Buffalo Bills thing. We want to definitely wish the Buffalo Bills a good one. Mookie is here. Maybe he can turn on that mic and he can say hi or something, man. Let him know. But Mookie is here, y'all. But I want to go back. This is the shakeup. I try to keep it as live as possible. I sometimes you don't want to constantly always stay on that little thing, and then people are turning off the set. But I want to let you know that also Senator Kennedy is running for Congress. We want to know who else is on in the race, whether it be Mayor Brown or whoever. Whether the Republicans might have somebody running, whether the Democrats or the Independent, we want to know so our community gets find out who is the right person. Mookie, what's going on? Grab that microphone, Mookie, real quick for us. Let us know what's happening real quick. Mookie is here. Yes, sir. You know what that is, Mr. Anderson? Come on with it, Mookie. Yes, you just got back from the Buffalo Bills. I know you was all on the road and everything, right?
Yeah, I was in San Antonio first for the the All-American Combine top high school kids in the country. We had about 5-6 guys from this area get invited down, and they did quite well. And obviously it's always good to cap the weekend off with a great Bills win, right?
Yes.
It is Victory Monday, so the new season is here. Bills are the 2 seed, and we'll see everybody at Highmark this Sunday, right?
So the brother, I'm glad you talked about. You said you had some young kids going to school down there, or what are they doing down there, academic wise and all that there? Because that's what he was asking. I'll go back and switch back to that part.
We're talking a lot about just getting young people to take initiative, right? And what's required for that. It's a lot of fear, a lot of choices out here. So with the athletes that maybe went down there, can you talk about maybe some of the mental things that it takes as a young person to get down there and perform at that level, the commitment, following through, right, work ethic, and also taking initiative, right? You're not always going to be just told that, hey, everybody wants to be good.
So
how do you take that initiative, say, I want to be the best, and then get to a level where you show up with those people that were brought down there selected?
Well, you gotta, basically show them, somebody else's process on, like you got guys in this area like Corey Graham and Steve Means. I talk about those two all the time. I coach those guys in Little League, and they went on to, excel at high levels than I can even imagine. Both of those guys have had Super Bowl rings. So, those guys are the examples that I always go back and lean on. And they are no different from you. They come from where you come from. So the dream is real. You just have to, understand the process on how to live your gift. And school is first and foremost. All right. So if you take care, your education, you control your own destiny that way. Then yes, you do have to work on your craft. You have to put the time into to get better at that craft, to get better at what you do. So when you do go and compete at a high level across the country, you are prepared to do that. So it's not that much. It's not that really that hard. It's just a will. It's just a will to want to live your gift. And if you believe in those gifts, and if you stay true and you stay the course, good things will happen.
Hey, we just about to get into passion versus purpose. We needed you for that.
No,
We'll get you next. We'll get you next time.
So Mookie knew when I was a coach, and we used to do the Y2K. That's when that area came up. He used to be on the microphone and at the what was the Old Rock Power? There. But getting back to the facts, folks. Please, we want to reach out to April Baskin, Senator Kennedy, Mayor Brown, and others to come on this show and talk about what direction you want to take us into. And that's how we're going. Even Mitch Norkowski saying he wants to run for office as well. Let's get him here. Or let them call in and see how it goes on the Jim Anderson Show, 96.5.
That's it. Y'all all welcome. Mayor's not running for Congress, but Mayor Brown have power in the city and had some impact. So it'd be great to hear what he's thinking and how he sees himself grooving for the city to move us forward. In fact, every politician has a role in doing that. And then not about the way you voted for them or not. When you're in political office, you're representing all of us.
I think we also have a race coming up with the Board of Education. I think it's 3 seats that's coming up as well at large seats in the city of Buffalo. It's coming up as well. And then we just had now the new president of the Common Council. So things are happening in the city of folks. You need to go down to City Hall and pay attention to what's going on. Like Mr. Jim Anderson said, they used to travel to Rochester. We don't got to go far to see what's happening in the city of Buffalo. Let's go down into those chambers and find out what's going on and have your voice when you get there. It's very important.
2024, I'm not a big resolution guy, but I'll tell you what, in 2024, I'm trying to be on time. So I know we're going to be getting out pretty soon. I don't want to bring us over. So I want to say my closing remarks, but really as I close, I just want to say thank you genuinely. Thank you to the station for the past year that I've had. Thank you for the viewers for listening and rocking with me. Hopefully you guys will start to recognize me a little more and see the value in me specifically. But thank you guys, specifically you guys in the booth for believing in me, giving this opportunity, and even today answering my questions, humoring me as I kind of gave out some sidebars, but hopefully there was value in it. So thank you guys for the listening audience, for the audience that's here, and hopefully we go off to a great 24. But I'm really happy to be back.
What's your name? You gotta tell me your
Austin.
name.
Austin Vaughn
Powers.
Martin. You can write it down. Right, you can write it down somewhere. Austin Vaughn Martin. But if you don't, don't pay attention now, it's all good. It'll be on the news someday. So just stay tuned. You'll hear about me somewhere, shape, or form.
Well, I can tell you, community love you, and I definitely love you, and Natasha know how that is. Yeah, I'm behind mom, dad, and sis, and grandma. y'all have to stay tuned to find out what that's all about.
What that's all about,
Grandma. Read that movie, read that book, y'all. Ooh. Hey, well, we out of here.
I'm gonna squeeze out.
Okay, Mary.
Yes, sir.
Austin.
Bye, both.